Hello guys, what's good? I go by the name is Coach Prince and welcome to Storyteller Nigeria. So today we're just going to throw more light on the whole Libya versus Nigeria situation. So it appears that at the beginning of the week we're supposed to go for the second leg as we prepare for the AFCON, and yes, we played Libya in Nigeria in Oyo and we won Libya 1-0. And it was time for us to go and play the second leg with Libya, and our players landed in Libya. Their plane was supposed to land in Benghazi and they landed in Al Abak instead of Benghazi. Their plane was diverted into Al Abak, of which our players were stranded for over 14 hours. But yes, there's a journalist reporting this news, and this is a report on the matter, guys. So let's watch. Let's see what she says on this.
Africa football talent, oodles of it, and controversies, bucket loads of that. The quartet that has been going on strong for ages now. The abundance of flair African football is known to produce is directly proportional to the chaos it swims in. And the latest, of course, is the feud surrounding Libya.
Okay, see the picture that they posted, our player sleeping with his mouth open, showing that he's stressed up, stranded at the Libyan Al Abak airport.
And Nigeria in the ongoing AFCON Qualifiers. AFCON, the African Cup of Nations tournament, is what we're referring to. Nigeria has boycotted the match against host Libya, which was scheduled to take place later tonight. Nigeria has accused Libya of manipulation, playing mind games, and mistreatment. And now the matter has gone to such an extent that the Nigeria government, along with the Football Federation, has been involved. But before we get to that, let me put you up to speed with what's happened. The Nigerian football team traveled to Libya yesterday for their AFCON qualifier match in Benghazi. But instead of reaching Benghazi, their flight was diverted to a smaller airport in Baida. The distance between both these cities is around 150 miles, not too far away, yet the Nigerian football team was left stranded at the airport for more than 16 hours.
But really maltreated, and there was nobody from the area that came to receive us. Nobody. We were just left with the security. In fact, it was when I saw that the situation was unbearable, we made arrangement to hire our own vehicles. We hired our own vehicles. They did not allow us to go out and join our vehicles.
The reason why this matter is so serious is because unlike some of the other sports, this, like cricket, for example, footballers usually travel to the host destination just a day or two before these single fixtures. They don't get enough time to rest, so every minute counts. And every minute wasted at an airport, for example, is time robbed from their sleep, much needed rest, or practice. So clearly the Nigerian football players were frustrated and, of course, exhausted. And now the Nigerian government has stepped in and is seeking answers from Libya.
There is no gainsaying the fact that we need to respect, our national teams. Our national teams carry, the national flag of our countries, our various countries. If you look at particularly the Nigerian national team, the crop of players that we have to go through, make a lot of sacrifices to represent our country and to play for it. So we must be interested in their circumstances and in their situation at every point in time.
The matter has escalated to the extent that Nigerian government has summoned Libya's ambassador to know exactly why the players were left stranded at the airport and for that long. And while the government is seeking answers, players have gone back to Nigeria, boycotting the match.
As the captain, together with the team, we have decided that we will not play this game. Our plane is being fueled and we should be leaving to Nigeria shortly.
So, of course, after the whole hostage situation, of course, our boys were not in the mental capacity to play the game. They were exhausted, they were tired, they were not mentally in that shape or form to play that kind of match. So it's just normal and reasonable that they don't play the match. It's not like it was an excuse. 16 hours stranded in airports with mosquitoes, no attention, no food, no water. Of course, it's an hostage situation for sure. And they were just happy to be free of the whole thing. So let's listen to what this lady said.
Strong words there from the captain of Nigeria football team. So from the outside, this clearly is a case of mistreatment from Libya, but Libya continues to stand its ground, claiming that the delay was unintentional.
What do you expect from the Liberal team? Look how they said they will firmly reject any claims that suggest foul play or sabotage in this situation. We hope that this misunderstanding can be resolved with understanding and goodwill. It's just them trying to defend themselves. In fact, the thing was so bad that even after this, their chairman of their Libyan Football Federation, he resigned because he knew that the system was really shackled. I think I'll show you the post here where the guy resigned. So who resigned? And this is what they said here. Libyan Football Federation president steps down following Super Eagles dispute. Abdul Hakim Al Shamani, president of the Libyan Football Federation, has officially resigned. As reported to the Libyan Observer, Al Shamani's resignation was revealed during the Federation's General Assembly meeting on Sunday. In a statement, Al Shamani said, "I no longer wish to be associated with the failure of the Libyan sport. I extend my gratitude to all members of the General Assembly and hold no grudges against anyone in the sports sector." His resignation follows a controversy involving the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who accused the Libyan football authorities of mistreatment. The Nigerian team was left stranded for over 16 hours at the Al Abrak International Airport without support from the Libyan Federation ahead of their second leg in the 2025 AFCON Qualifiers. The team has since returned to Nigeria. So, of course, this is one of the outcome which reflects that there was a loophole and there needs to be work in the Libyan Football Federation. So it's not just about they are trying to evade accountability, of which whether it's not intentional or not, 16 hours is a lot of time. So what now happened? Let's just continue listening to what this lady said so that I can get to the part where this so-called information they got was not properly reported. Like the journalism here was a very not well done journalism. Let's continue.
While Libya states the decision to divert the flight was not intentional, what's more concerning, though, is the fact that Nigeria had to arrange for their own transportation to travel to Benghazi so that they could reach the city as soon as they could and make up for that lost time. But the Libyan airport authorities didn't allow them to walk out of the airport, which is what bothered Nigeria even more. And it's strange because politically there are no differences between these two nations, and in terms of football rivalry as well, there is a stark difference between the two sides. Nigeria has won the AFCON 3 times, and Libya's best finish came long back in 1982 when they reached the final. In terms of qualification, Nigeria have been regulars with 20 qualifications out of the 36 editions of the tournament. Libya, on the other hand, still challengers with qualifying only for 3 of those years. So clearly there is no semblance of a historic rivalry, anything intense between these two footballing nations. The reason behind this feud can be drawn from one prior instance, and that happened just last week. Libya travelled to Nigeria for an AFCON qualifier match. They lost that to the host side 1-0. But we aren't pointing to the result or the scoreline as what could have possibly angered the Libyan football team, but something that happened before the game. The Libyan they were forced to make their own arrangements to travel to the host city.
Okay, so this is Libyan claim that they were forced to make their own arrangement to travel to the city. And look at what she said here.
They traveled through dense forests, through the middle of a jungle to reach the venue eventually.
They traveled through dense forests, through the middle of a jungle to reach their host destination eventually.
It was quite the harrowing experience. So clearly this could be a case of giving Nigeria a taste of their own medicine.
So clearly this could be a case of giving Nigeria a taste of their own medicine. So, we saw this in online where they said that even the Libyan footballers were mistreated when they came to Nigeria. But the first question is, how come they didn't talk about it until they did their own back to us? So it's obvious that this was a different scenario and this was a different play entirely. So what happened? The Libyan Football Federation, the players were supposed to land in Uyo Airport directly, and Uyo was the host venue for the game. But these guys decided to book a flight to Port Harcourt instead and landed in Port Harcourt, which was not planned for 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 the players and was not planned at all for them to move from Port Harcourt to Uyo, because Port Harcourt to Uyo is like a 4 hours drive, you know. And these guys decided to do it. It was on their own way that they decided to land in Port Harcourt, not Uyo. Unlike the whole case in Alabrak to Benghazi, where their plane was diverted and it was not a choice of the Nigerian Football Federation to land in Alabrak. We were supposed to land in Benghazi, where the football game was supposed to be held. Unlike these guys, this guy landed in Port Harcourt Airport. Port Harcourt Airport has no seats. It's not. It's still like an airport that is not fully is still not fully built like that. It has no seats. So the picture you see where the players are on the ground is because there are no seats, and these guys landed in the Port Harcourt Airport, which was not planned by the NFF. NFF, hearing that they were in the Port Harcourt Airport, arranged for a bus for them, and within 3 hours, the bus arrived. These guys entered the bus, and they had to go journey by road from Port Harcourt to Uyo. The whole jungle and everything is, they didn't pass through any jungle. It's the normal trees and the vegetations you see when you drive um through the city of Port Harcourt, or when you travel. This is the same thing you even see abroad when they are traveling long distance of journey, where they travel through the road and you see trees on the sides of the road. So the way it was reported here was just very, very absurd, and this was just a very annoying mistake from this journalist, to be honest, and the report. It was just a very false report, and the way they just painted it, look as if Nigeria did their own and these guys did their own back. So of course it's a very different scenario, and unlike them, the NFF made sure that these guys were kept safe and even came there on a timely manner to make sure that these guys were driven to Uyo for this game in the bus, surrounded by escorts and everything for their safety. And these guys arrived. One thing is this: the fact that the Libyan players are new to the place, maybe they will see the trees and they're like assuming that, oh, this place is within forest and everything. But even at that, they are following through a tarred road. So how will you assume that you are following through thick forest and jungles? Like the way she said it here, were these snakes crossing on the road? Were they monkeys flying around on the road? Did they see some lions as they were passing through the jungle? Very wrong reporting, and it's just a very big mistake and a disappointing mistake, and it's disappointing journalism from these people. So this was just a wrong journalism, and to be honest, I'm just, if you can see this from a so-called international, I think an Indian media house, what do you expect from other people? The media kind of like, they push the narrative, and this is what they will feed to some people, and these are what these people will see and hear and assume that they will take it for truth without trying to find clarity to it. So this is the whole situation between the whole Libya and Nigeria thing. And tell me, what do you guys think about this? To be honest, I feel like the Libyan Federation, they still need to answer for whatever they did and the reason they had behind that, because keeping people for inside an airport for over 16 hours without allowing them to even go out to get food or water, it's just really a hostage situation. It was almost as if the Nigerian players were kidnapped. It's wrong, and it's something that it should be dealt with. Well, these guys have played only 3 times in the AFCON games, all through the history of AFCON games. So if they sit this one out or they are banned for the next 5 years, it will not do them anything, because after all, they barely play in the first place. But anyway, not to knock on their game or their players, this is my own take on this, guys. Tell me what you think about this. I'll go by your name is Coach Prince. Welcome to Storyteller. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.